Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. So, going into this episode, well, so unhappy to sit there and say the bitchness continued with Sam. I don't know what the hell the writers are doing. And I know this can't just be me. Okay, I know this can't just be me. When they decide to change Nina, and they decided to make her this spoiled, rich, entitled woman, it turned off a lot of people. And I don't know the idea behind that. I mean, I have a theory. You know, there's a saying that they used to say in the 90s or whatever, early 2000s, we watch the people that we love to hate. But that doesn't apply anymore because everything's a soap opera, and if you really don't like something, you know what you do? You stop watching it and you watch something else. So I don't know what the hell they're doing. But now they made Sam. They made her the person that we like to hate. The person that we love to hate. Problem is, I don't love to hate her. I just can't fucking stand her. And, before I really get into it, I'm just going to sit there and kind of tell you a little bit about what she did. She put her hands on Brando when he decided to walk away from her and when he was done talking to her. And I'm just sitting there thinking, the roles are reversed. And a man put their hands on her when she walked away. How the fuck do you think she would react? That pissed me off to no end. I know, this is another rant. That pissed me off to no end though. And I actually decided to drink some tea before I decided to do this review because... Okay, so let's get into it. So Sam continued with the bitchiness, telling him, oh, stay away from my sister, this, that, and the third. Brandon was like, listen, when we had sex, I didn't know that she had a boyfriend. She didn't tell me that she had a boyfriend. And Sam was like, well, at the time she was single and I was like, did you not hear what he just said? It's almost like she tried to find a reason to keep fighting with him. No matter what logical sense that he actually came and presented to her, she found the most illogical bullshit excuse that she can find to continue fighting with him. And it got to a point where it was really difficult watching her scenes. And I'm not to start with her. It was really difficult watching her scenes. And she came out her mouth and was like, oh, well, I know that you did time. Yeah, because you haven't done time before. Let's just take a stroll through memory lane. When she first got to town and, she was running cons and stuff like that, stealing treasure from people. I actually watched a little clip yesterday. It was actually pretty interesting. Man, she was so young back then. She came to town, from being a con artist, from literally using her sexuality to lie, be with men, be with rich men, steal their money, and go on to the next job. So how the fuck does she, in what world does she feel she have the right to sit there and throw somebody's past in their face? And Brandon was like, listen, you've done time too. Actually, to tell you the truth, you're on parole and you can't see Jason. And that's the reason why you're coming at me so hard. She's projecting her own anger onto somebody else, which is probably among the worst things you could sit there and do. It is, in my opinion. It's among, I wouldn't sit there and say it's the worst. Sam said some sort of snarky remark when she was walking away about one of his bikes or whatever not being fixed properly, and Brandon was like, I guess you're a gearhead or something like that, and she did her whole little bitchy ass look or something like that. I don't know. Honestly, to tell you the truth, at that point I wanted her to just go. And yeah, at one point, Brandon was like, listen, I have things to do, I want you to leave. And he closes his laptop and he walks away, and Sam's like, oh, you're not going to dismiss me like that. My dude asked you to leave about 4 or 5 different times, and you're still there. Why? Like, just the most entitled... Okay. Anyway, yeah, so at one point, when he was walking away, she grabbed his arm and was like, listen, I'm not done talking to you. I don't. Anyway, trying to calm down. Anyway, so then Molly, she's all like, I'm waiting for my car or whatever. Molly walks in, and Molly's like, listen, I need to talk to Brando. Sam does her little bitchiness or whatever. Molly talks to Brando. Molly's like, well, I hope she wasn't too hard on you. You hope she wasn't too hard on you. You hope that she... I just thought about that. You hope that she wasn't too hard on you. This is after you lied to him and said that you didn't have a boyfriend. Brando decided to be nice for some odd reason. It was like, listen, your sister's just being a big sister. That's what family does. Molly's like, listen, I'm sorry for all the trouble, whatever. He can never know. I decided to not tell him. This can never happen again. Brenda's like, what? What are you talking about? Brenda's like, listen, it was nice knowing you. And, Molly walked away, and that was the end of that scene. Man, that was really difficult to get through. So Michael goes to, Sonny's house, sees Carly, lets her in on everything, and, basically sits there and blames himself for, Sasha so-called cheating. And also, Michael's like, well, you know what? You told me not to sit there and give her a chance, and I did, and you was right. Carly just didn't want to see her son in pain anymore. So she was like, listen, you need to go to the park. You need to sit there and run it off, It's kind of just, just go for a jog, just to kind of get it out of your system. So that's what Michael does. And then, Carly goes to Metro Court. Now tell me, why the hell would Sasha, out of all places, go to eat? First of all, the Metro Court is probably the most expensive place in town to go to. And I'm pretty sure she's not making money like that. So, on top of that, why the hell would you go? You just cheated on the owner's son. Nell walks in, and Nell's like, I feel sorry for you when Carly comes down here and brings her wrath of God on you. Why are you here? You should leave. Sasha's like, well, I'll leave if I'm asked to. Now, please tell me how any of that makes sense. So, after they snipe each other back and forth, Nell is walking out, and, they both see Carly. And, Nell says, oh, listen, I'm so sorry to hear about what happened to Michael. We gotta talk about that. Bye. Just throwing it in her face. Carly walked in there like a boxer that was ready to get ready to get into a fight. She had that I am so going to fuck your shit up look. Sasha is there looking with worry. Carly's like, my son, like, at first Sasha's all like, oh, I'm so sorry, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, Sasha, please just shut up. You are so not helping. Carly's like, listen, I just came from seeing my son, which blamed himself for the whole thing, because that's what kind of person he is. But I'm gonna blame you. And that's pretty much where that scene ends. Finn and Chase talk. Finn pretty much convinces Chase to, listen, you need to fix this. The longer this goes on, the less likely you'll be able to fucking fix this. Because Finn is like, listen, you need to let her decide on what she wants. You can't sit there and decide it for her. You can't. That's not fair to her. That's not fair to Wiley. That's not fair to Mike. That's not fair to anyone to take the choice out of her hands. To sit there and lie to her and think something's happening when it's not, to force her into a decision that she may not have made. She might have made a different choice, but you're not giving her that option. Which was actually a great scene. It was probably actually one of my favorite scenes. And so Fenn is like, listen, you need to fix this. You need to make this right. And Willow walks in. Willow knocks on the door. And you talk for a little bit. And then Willow's like, listen, I'm just here to get some of my stuff. I'm just here to get some of my shit. And I can leave. And then Chase like, wait. This is his chance to sit there and start saying that, this whole thing was a ruse. I did this to help you and blah, 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 blah. Now, in the next episode, we all know how these things go. We know how these things go, and I'm probably just going to sit there and spoil it anyway, because it's just a theory, which is probably going to be true. Chase is going to start trying to confess. But he's not going to confess. He's going to do one of those half-hearted, I'm going to try to confess, by working around it, and Willow's going to cut him off and sit there and say, and it probably was in the previews, listen, I can't take any more hurt in my heart. Chase is going to be like, you know what, listen, all I'm doing by trying to explain to her is making the matter worse and hurting her more. And he's going to stop. I guarantee you, I can pretty much 99% guarantee you that when I talk about this tomorrow, I'm just going to sit there and say that I was right, and that's exactly what happened. But before then, I know I'm kind of tossing in a weird order, but before then, Willow was at the Metro Court, because that's where she's staying right now, and she talks to Lucy on the phone. She's really annoying. Lucy, by the way. And she's like, listen, I just need a small place, a studio, just something small, because I'm not living with Chase anymore. Give me a call back. And of course Nell walks in, just ready to throw it in her face, talking about, oh, listen, Chase did you dirty just like he did me. That's the kind of person he is. He's a very terrible person on the inside, blah, 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 blah. And, she comes in with the whole, I'm going to fake apology. Like, listen, I'm sorry for what I said about why we didn't mean anything to you. Also, my lawyer's going to sit there and call you to testify against Michael as a character witness. Blah, 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 blah. I don't honestly understand why, but okay. So she was just like, where are you staying at? Just throwing it in her face, because that's the kind of person Nell is. They go back and forth for, with each other for a little bit. Nothing transpires. Yeah. So, Lulu, Valentin, and Charlotte. Lulu, Valentin, and Nina is they're talking to Charlotte, trying to console her. They take turns talking. So first you have Valentin that's talking to Charlotte, and Charlotte's like, listen, you need to fight for me. I ran away so that way I could sit there and try to be with you. So they talk or whatever for a little bit, and he basically sits there and says, listen, I'm not going to be gone for long. I'm still going to visit you, blah, 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 blah. I'm just going to keep my distance. That doesn't work. Then Lulu goes in there, and Charlotte's like, listen, I heard what you were saying, and, to be honest, they talk for a little bit, but the important thing is that Charlotte's like, listen, you never asked me how I would feel if you won sole custody. You never took my feelings into consideration. And it was almost like a light bulb just lit up in fucking Lulu's head. Listen, I'm not Lulu's biggest fan. I'm really not. But at least she actually did grasp the concept of what she was doing. So, they walk out of the room or whatever for a little bit, and Lulu's like, listen, I gotta talk to your father for a little bit. So then they're talking. Nina's there trying to comfort Charlotte. Charlotte's listening by the door. They talk for a little bit, Nina and Charlotte, and then both of them comes out the room, Valentin and Lulu, and Lulu's like, listen, we're gonna have to sit there and do better. So what that means is that you're gonna actually have both of your parents in your life, because we can't keep doing this to each other. It's affecting you. And in my head, when I was sitting there watching, I was like, so, Lulu, are you gonna actually act like an adult this time and be a responsible adult and actually calm down your grudge with him long enough to be a good mother? Can you do that? And she actually did that. She was like, listen, both of us is gonna be in your life, and so you can just stop stressing out so much. And I was like, wow. I was like, I don't want to give this woman credit, but I guess I kind of have to. So good job, Lulu, for being an adult, for being a adult. And because Valentin was talking to Nina, and Nina was like, you need to fight for your daughter. You need to fight for your daughter. I get what you're trying to do, but it isn't working. It wasn't working best for Charlotte. So be the man that I know you can be and fight for your daughter. And, after talking back and forth, Valentin realized that Nina was right. And so he decided, yeah, I'm going to fight for my daughter. But he wasn't going to go through the whole custody hearing. When he talked in the room, I guess he must have realized that fighting for his daughter doesn't mean going through a custody war. So he decided to put both of their animosity behind them. Let's be honest for a minute. Valentin was fine with agreed custody, with shared custody. It was Lulu that actually had the problem. Throughout the entire time, Lulu was the one that actually had the problem. Valentin was fine with it. He was the one that was actually being cordial. The only time that he decided to give custody to Lulu was when he felt like he was being a bad influence. But anyway, they worked that out. So, Kristina convinces Molly to lie because she's Kristina. Yeah, she's Kristina. So she convinces Molly to lie by snipping saying, are you going to tell TJ the truth because it benefits TJ or because it benefits you? Basically, snipping saying that you're only telling TJ the truth so that way it can ease your conscience. But it won't do anything. It's only going to hurt TJ at the expense of easing your conscience. Now, I'm not going to sit there and lie and pretend that in some ways that isn't true. But in that situation, she should have just told the truth. There's times where you do actually have to lie to somebody, and just easing your conscience and just telling them the truth, isn't necessarily always a good idea. And it's kind of selfish because, yeah, in reality, it is easing your conscience. And, okay, cool, my conscience is eased, but I really devastated you by doing that. But that wasn't one of those fucking cases, so Kristina was way the fuck off on that one. Let me just pause it for 1 second. I just want to make sure that I got everything good. Yeah, so, yeah, that's gonna do it for this review or recap of General Hospital. I know my review was it was somewhat off over the place, but I hope that I kind of pieced it together well enough so that way you can follow it. So yeah, that's gonna do it for this recap of General Hospital. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot. I really enjoy doing this. Just recapping, just talking and stuff like that about General Hospital. Because here's the thing, even when I'm at my maddest about a certain character, I can't negate the good stuff that happened in the episode. Even when I start off being mad at Nina or mad at Sam, I'm really fucking angry at Sam. I can't negate some of the good stuff that does happen in the show. So, I guess when I'm that angry, I'm just more passionate about the show, maybe. So anyway, again, that's going to do it for this recap of General Hospital. So thanks for watching. I know it's kind of a long video, around like 20-something minutes, but I want to really kind of just make sure I got everything in the video of what happened in today's episode. So, thanks for watching. Be safe, all that good stuff. And I will see you in the next recap.